Before I begin today's video, make sure to go ahead and check out the link in the description below to Dragon Ball Reset Chapter 4, which airs this Friday. Turn on the reminder, that way you guys don't miss the premiere. We have brand new news on Dragon Ball Super's manga and the future of Dragon Ball Super as a whole, and that is coming from Toyotaro himself. He decided that it was a good idea just for the update of where the manga is going and Jump Festa right around the corner, that he would do an interview to get the hype going for Dragon Ball Super, because they are going to be announcing a bunch of different things on Jump Festa. Maybe an anime, maybe a new movie, maybe more on this movie. But one thing is for certain, we're going to be getting the question that has been on everyone's mind since June, and that is, what is the color of Ultra Ego? That's right, Ultra Ego's new color palette is going to be announced at Jump Festa, so I'm excited for that. But let's jump into this interview, because this interview has a lot of different in-depth news and updates to exactly what is going on in the Dragon Ball Super manga, and more importantly, will we be getting more of Bardock in the future? Let's go. So there is a full, almost close to an hour interview of Toyotaro that I'm going to leave a link to in the description below in the top comment. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. But today I wanted to focus on the main questions that I found really interesting and the answers that came along with them. The first one is, what is his favorite technique? And of course, he says it's the Kamehameha, with specific attention to the instant transmission Kamehameha from the Cell games. To me, this is one of the most iconic Kamehamehas, and honestly, it trumps almost every other kind because it can be hit from any direction. The slow movement of the Kamehameha itself, it makes it a huge target for a lot of attacks. Like, you're basically left wide open if you take a long time to charge it up, and if you charge it up too fast, it may be a little bit weak. The longer you charge it, the better it is. Instant Kamehameha basically takes away that factor where you can instantly pop up wherever your opponent is and then deliver the Kamehameha right in his chest. So to me, I definitely agree with Toyotaro that instant Kamehameha is definitely the best Kamehameha in my opinion, but definitely one of the best techniques in Dragon Ball as a whole. This is a big one. It was asked what your favorite Goku form was to Toyotaro, and Toyotaro's answer actually has a lot of layers to it, and it's extremely interesting. So Toyotaro's favorite and coolest looking form that he thinks is the best is Mastered Ultra Instinct, or he just says Ultra Instinct, the non-black haired version. Omen is the one with the black hair. Honestly, I prefer the Omen look because I like the black hair on him with the silver eyes. I think that a lot of the most iconic moments from the Tournament of Power came from that black haired silver dyed version, but I have to definitely give credit to the fact that Ultra Instinct Perfected, Mastered Ultra Instinct Perfected, it has a sort of angelic flavor to it. It feels otherworldly, and that's part of what goes into his second answer here, and that is that he has the most fun drawing Super Saiyan Blue, because Super Saiyan Blue is far more expressive. When Goku and Vegeta are in Super Saiyan Blue, similar to Super Saiyan, they can struggle in a fight, they may get the upper hand, they may not, and so their circumstances always change in a fight, and it's fun to draw those different facial expressions for Toyotaro. But when it comes to Ultra Instinct, because it's such a powerful transformation, it is the top goated one, and again, very angelic, very ethereal. Well, Ultra Instinct really doesn't have that much expressiveness to draw. Basically, it's a very calm form. Goku has to be in a very specific mental state to be in this form, so Toyotaro thinks that yes, that is the coolest looking form, but Super Saiyan Blue is far more fun to draw. So I definitely like diving into those layers, because you don't often get that where you can kind of see exactly where their head is at from the person that's drawing the official manga. Very interesting. These are the Bardock questions that you've been wanting to ask him, and here they are. First of all, are we going to get more Bardock in the story? Toyotaro's a little coy with this because he can't really answer that forthright, because, you know, that would be spoilers, and so we don't really get a direct answer like that. But he says, for those of you guys who like Bardock, who enjoy Bardock, be excited for a little bit more Bardock, for more Bardock in this story. He doesn't mention if there's going to be Bardock in the future of Dragon Ball, but definitely he says that he's integral, a pinpoint character to this part of the story. I'm telling you, I think in the next arc, we're going to be getting a lot more diving into the politics of Universe 7 when it comes to Frieza, heaters, maybe the Saiyans' role with other planets. But when it comes to Bardock himself, in the next chapter or the chapter after that, I think we're going to get what happened between him and Gas. That's kind of what I've been looking forward to. So I want to see exactly what Bardock did to defeat Gas, who is a powerful warrior in his own right. The interviewer followed this up with what's the story behind Bardock's appearance in the main story. And Toyotaro explains that he's been a Bardock fan for years. He's basically a Bardock fanboy, and he's wanted to weave him in the main story for quite some time, but with Goku and Vegeta being the main characters and Bardock being dead, that's been very, very difficult to perform. And so he's thought of different ways to have side stories with him, maybe missions or something, things like that. But he always went back to how does he have him in the main timeline. So he came up with the idea of having him be integral to Granola's story. As the Saiyan invasion commenced on planet Cereal, he gave that information, all that info and that story to Toriyama. And as we've seen with other interviews with Toyotaro, Toriyama doesn't always jump on either his idea or doesn't jump on other people's ideas, but apparently when he introduced this idea to Toriyama, Toriyama jumped on it and said it was amazing. And so Toyotaro said hell yes and jumped right into it. He made the entire story for him. He was happy to interview and discuss with Toriyama about his thoughts on Bardock. So a lot of what came with Bardock, with the story that we've seen so far, was influenced by Toriyama, as Toyotaro was the one asking him questions about it, and he was able to morph this character into what he thought was cool as well. So that's why it feels, in my opinion, that Bardock in the manga is such a mix between the old DBZ special Bardock and the DBS minus Bardock. It's a really good middle ground because, of course, Toyotaro being a fanboy from the DBZ Bardock and not really having any insight into the new Bardock, he had that mold of what the badass Bardock he was, and Toriyama knows what the new Bardock is, and so that's where this character was melded. Now, he does say that he thinks that his dream is fulfilled of having Bardock in the main story, so we may not be getting more Bardock like as a main character, like having him, you know, be resurrected or whatever. We may not be getting that in the manga, but he did say that he came up with a bunch of side stories for Bardock, so maybe we'll get a spin-off manga with the missions of Bardock and having Gine and other Saiyans in it. That would be so cool. Yes, we finally get into the Ultra Ego questions. I'm actually really interested in seeing exactly what Toyotaro thinks about his decisions with Ultra Ego, how he came up with them, and where is he going to take Ultra Ego, because you guys know, as a Vegeta fanboy, I was very disappointed with Ultra Ego, his performance. I was disappointed in the way that he was showcased. I was disappointed in his attribute to the story when it came to fighting Granola. I was just disappointed with it. I wasn't disappointed with the look of Ultra Ego, and I likened it to Ultra Instinct Omen, that it was just the precursor to something a little bit more extreme looking. And so when the interview asked Toyotaro about Ultra Ego, even the interviewer says it's kind of on the nose, and Toyotaro responds with the fact that the reason he got Ultra Ego, first of all, he made the concept art. He made the art for Ultra Ego Vegeta, he came up with the name, gave it to Toriyama, Toriyama greenlit it right away. So whether Toriyama really likes this stuff, or maybe he's kind of up there in years, if he's too old and he's just kind of like, you know, like, yeah, that's fine, go ahead. You know, he's kind of like leaving it to Toyotaro and giving him more agency in the story and developing Dragon Ball Super, because obviously Toyotaro is going to be the one making the big decisions here in the next 10-15 years for Dragon Ball and the direction it's going to go. So he greenlights it. So Toyotaro explains that Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct kind of have the same feel to it. That's the first thing. He wanted it to feel similar but opposite. And the fact that Ego fits so well with Vegeta definitely was a plus. Now this is interesting. He says the original Japanese words for instinct and ego are similar, but depending on the kanji or the reading, instinct becomes your body moves on your own, right? So that's Ultra Instinct, which we all know. On the other hand, even though the Japanese for ego is similar to instinct, if you look closely at the kanji, you could explain it as doing as you please, right? In short, the way he explains it is it's the difference between your body moving freely and moving your body freely. So in Japanese, both of the two names, Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, they kind of have the same meaning, but then different meanings. It's words that have different meanings in Japanese, but they're opposite. So yes, this honestly, I didn't expect this at all. I didn't expect that the kanji was why he came up with ego. It just kind of feels like it fits perfectly that way. Ego fits perfectly with Vegeta. Instinct was already on Goku. So just having the kanji be opposite already and having the same meaning but different, it's almost like the duality of words. I like it. I like it. I like that this is, there's a deeper meaning to Ultra Ego than the surface level that if you guys watched those videos when it first came out, I even said it was very surface level name. But the design was, it just didn't fit with the name for me. But let's see exactly what goes into the design, because he actually explains in this interview what the design was all about, where it came from. And the interviewer is doing a really good job because he is explaining these things like the way I would. So you could tell that he's a huge Dragon Ball fan, obviously. And he asked him about Vegeta's look. And was he thinking about Beerus when he was designing it because Vegeta loses his eyebrows and stuff? I mean, you could instantly say, oh no, it's Super Saiyan 3 or whatever, but personally for me, when I first saw that, I thought of Beerus. I thought that, also Beerus is the one teaching him the form, but it looks kind of like animalistic, similar to Beerus. And so Toyotaro answers with more in-depth information and giving us a little hint of things that are already in the know, and that is Ultra Instinct is a technique of the angels, which we already knew, but he says Ultra Ego is a technique of the gods of destruction. Now, this should seem obvious, basically, to a lot of people because of the fact that, like, you know, Beerus is the one that taught him it, but it wasn't very clear in the manga. You know, it was obviously that Beerus is teaching him how to draw all this power out and do this new thing, but it wasn't clear whether this was something that was already inherently inside the Saiyan's genes, or was it something that was outward. Now we know it's not from the Saiyans. It's not something that Vegeta's gonna go, you know, transform more into and look more Super Saiyan 4, at least not coming from the Saiyan side. It's something that comes from the gods of destruction. So if it comes from the gods of destruction, that means that the gods of destruction are able to do this technique as well, or they use it at some level, because angels use Ultra Instinct and they teach it to the gods of destruction as well. So it's just a technique similar to Ultra Instinct. There's a lot there, honestly. There's a lot to unpack there when it comes to where Ultra Ego comes from and the mystery of it. That's kind of why I like Dragon Ball a lot, because they don't really explain things very clearly, so it's left to interpretation. A lot of room for not only what ifs, we've seen the explosion of what if channels, but the mystery and the explanation is very interesting. So when designing Ultra Ego, Toyotaro looked at Ultra Instinct and he said that he can't confirm whether Toriyama was doing this on purpose or not. He hasn't asked them, but because Ultra Instinct has white hair and Whis has white hair, and it seemed like the designs are incorporated, he wanted to incorporate Ultra Ego with Beerus's design a little bit, and that is why he looks a little bit animalistic, looks a little feral, and looks a little bit more like Beerus. With that being said, even the interviewer was like, there's no colored version, which I already told you. There's going to be a colored version at Jump Festa. For the first time, we're going to be able to see it. Its debut, and even the interviewer is excited about it. Like, yes, we finally get to see the long-awaited full-color Ultra Ego reveal, which I can't believe 6 months later we still don't have it. But with the way that Toyotaro explains how he came up with these designs, it's more than likely that Vegeta's going to have purple hair. That's just a given. I mean, Beerus is purple, God of Destruction Aura and Ki is purple. It wouldn't make sense for him to have like black hair and orange eyes like some of the artwork has shown, but I guess purple hair is what a lot of people were thinking, so I'm thinking that that's not too bad either. But these are the essential questions that I thought were very interesting from the interview. Again, I'm going to leave the full link to the interview itself, which is like over an hour, I think, in the description below in the top comment. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. Don't forget to check out Dragon Ball Reset Chapter 4 and set the reminder for this Friday. That way you guys are there for its reveal. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these long-awaited answered questions. This is going to be BlackScape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content.